Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you'd like to see, remember to hit that like button. You want to see more? Hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Motorsport Manager, episode 61. We finally made it to the pinnacle of Motorsport F1, aka World Motorsport Championship. But we are still struggling at the bottom as we just got promoted this season. But here we are, late on in the year. We're about to start the Phoenix Grand Prix. That's still a day away. First up, we have a new vote as the GMA is meeting for the final time this season. And what is on the docket for today? Qualifying based grids with 3 sessions, similar to how it is done in Formula One. So what I'm going to do is I absolutely will vote for it and use both votes. That also sets up the real life scenario of making it to Q3 means you start on the tires from Q2, and that is certainly a good thing. So there's double votes for. Well, Mercedes voted for it. Ouch, that's 4 votes against. There's Williams. McLaren votes for. And I think that's going to go. It is. That is 4. There you go. Next season, we are going to do realistic qualifying comparatively to real life. Very cool. Excited about that one. 2024. Alright. Well, let's get back to the homepage here for a second before we move on. This is the final event of the year. Event 16. No, wait. Is it? No, it's not. You tricked me there for a second. That's just all there is room for on their graphics. Their GUI there. So we still have 4 races left in the year, which is what I thought. We're going to do 3 final episodes here. We've got back-to-back Brazil races. So to compensate for that, we're going to catch the very end of the first of the 2 at the beginning of the next episode, and then try to roll straight as fast as we can into the second one to turn that into 3 episodes to wrap up the season. I used to do every other race anyway, as it was, and occasionally do what I'm doing on this next episode. Makes for slightly longer episodes, but we'll get through it. One thing of note, you can see just how far down we are on headquarters, and we are way behind. Like, the other 9 teams are all up, very, very similar to each other. So our headquarters is miles behind, and our only active upgrade is done. So we certainly need to invest in that. And we do have $40 million, but we are heading into the end of the season, and I want to set up next year's car first because we need some serious improvement to the car. So I will save money, and then depending on how much payout we get for the year, and make sure that we're still in F1 for next year, blah, 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 blah. When we have money left over, then we'll start investing in the headquarters again. But the one positive thing here is the car. We've been 9th all year long. Haas was last. However, the way this line is at the very bottom, at the minimalist point, we were ever so slightly above that minimalist point on the car. I mean, it was almost identical to where the headquarters were. We have climbed above that, and average is only up here. So we're getting closer. We are getting closer, and our work on the car this year is beginning to come to fruition, and you can see we are now beginning work on the engine. So the final part of this year, all the major components of the car have been upgraded over the course of the season, with the exception of the engine, and that is one area where we are desperate now, as we are weakest by quite a bit. For next season, if we can get that up to 8th or 9th, we'll really start to see things coming around. We've got a good rear wing, 5th, suspension 7th, front wing is all the way up to 4th behind the big 3 teams. Braking at 9th, gearbox at 9th, but they're not in the cellar anymore. Gearbox was 10th in our last race, so making progress. Definitely making progress. All right, let's get to this race, huh? Ooh, is that even higher? No, it's not. It's my imagination. It's what I want to see. Okay, well, this sucks because we're not going to get anywhere near those. The best payout is actually for third, not for second, so we'll definitely take that one. We're not going to hit any of those bonuses, so we are losing a lot of money. 29 laps, a good chunk of this, and this is going to hurt here. This is a top speed kind of track. Look at that. I mean, you're doing half a lap here around Phoenix International Raceway and then heading through the midfield. That's going to hurt because we don't have the engine to keep up. So this is not likely going to be a very good race for us. But rear wing, crucial. We've got a good rear wing. Can that help? We'll see. Fuel burns low, tire wear very high. So we're probably going to need some hards for this race. So let's set that up for 3. We'll set this up for 3. And then we'll set this up for whatever's left, which is 3. So we'll get 1 for practice. And we'll go from there. We might even have to sacrifice qualifying at this rate if there's not enough, but I want to make sure that we have a good race setup. Qualifying doesn't matter as much. But let's take a look at those parts and see what, if anything, can be done here. Again, the recent addition is the gearbox. They look to be fitted already, but let's make sure we're where we want to be. I certainly don't like have Herta upset. Max is on equal status, and he is content. Currently set at P13, and Herta is P14. Ever so slightly worse, so we might swap something somewhere, like right here. Oh, and just like that, Max is unhappy. That much of a difference between those two, huh? Let's see if we can't balance this out a little bit somewhere. We want... Will that make you? Aha! Ding, ding, and ding. So that's 15th. Whoa, and 12th. Now, how did that happen? Alright, well, the new gearbox is on. We're up to 96%, and that is certainly going to have an impact. That makes it now gearbox. Suspension, rear wings, done for the year. That engine is the only department left. So every best part is now on the car, with the exception of the engine department, which we have not touched all season long, but at least the reliability is up. Across the board on the cars, our worst part is a 96% in that department. That's certainly going to help us out. So round 16 of 19 here in the World Motorsport Championship, aka F1, and we head to the United States and Phoenix. So I'm very much looking forward to next season. I have high hopes that we're going to be very much into the midfield next season and earning points a lot more consistently. hopefully competing. I don't know if we're going to get up to best of the rest and jump from 9th to 4th. That might be a little optimistic. But if we can get up to, 5th or even 6th next season, that would be pretty awesome. I know we're going to want some top speed, so let's just assume that that's going to be the case, and we will push towards the end on top speed. Okay, so 29 lap race. We're going to get about 16 out of the hards. So there's our race strategy. One stopper on the hards. Yeah, because if you get 7 on the softs, that's not happening. That's not one extra stop. Right? That's a lot more. It's like a 2 or 3 stop race. Probably a 3-stop race. 3 stops, yeah. So, and then maybe not even making it at that point. Alright, if I get 7, that's 28 on a 3-stopper. It's a 29 lap race. So somewhere we'd actually have to get those 8 laps out of it. So definitely not happening on the softs, but of course we're going to have to set that up for qualifying. So hards, softs. We're not even going to touch mediums this race weekend. So both guys onto the hards. Let's see. The handling needs to come up, so we're going to push this. And push that over, and we'll see what we get from that. So we'll get the hards ready to go for a race first. We'll switch over to the softs to prepare for qualifying. And of course, it's Phoenix. It's going to be dry. Let's get that weight stripping ready to go. Alright, everybody down to 80%. Ready to roll. Okay, so here's on the qualifying trim. Verstappen, also on the qualifying trim. So we're kind of going in reverse order. We're doing the race tire and the qualifying trim. But it really doesn't matter. The times mean absolutely nothing in practice. Okay, so they'll both come back in this lap. And we'll bring them around. There we go. Okay, so good move on the gear ratios as we start right at great. The handling is going to need to come over, and it's definitely going to head towards understeer. Downforce, small adjustments. Guessing probably towards low because of the speed balance. Alright, we'll give that a shot. Max already locked in the downforce. First time out. Okay, handling's okay. Obviously just the one direction to go. And we're good on the speed balance. Let's give that a shot. Let's get out a little bit faster. Helps if I set them to come in. Isn't it nice to see Schumacher topping the timings? Even if it's Mick. I know most of us probably have not seen Mick Schumacher drive. I've certainly seen him come up on various motorsport talk programs, but haven't actually seen him drive as of yet. Speed balance went... I don't know. Okay, that's right. It's max. So handling's very close. Speed balance, can't say kind of where we're at on that one. Let's... Wait. Which way did we come from? Let's try the other way. %, still great on the downforce. Speed balance, though, we got that. We nailed that one. We've gone from poor to good on the handling. Still some work to be done and can be a little difficult with the speed balance. Still great on the downforce. So let's see. We'll continue this way just a hair. And I get that we're going to get that notice, but that is okay by me. Okay, and we're back. Alright, we're 2/3 of the way there for Max. His speed balance has gone too far. So good was at the edge of the E, so we need to come back to about the C without messing up the handling, and that is easier said than done. That might be too far, but we'll give it a shot that at least keeps the handling locked in the happy zone. Okay, downforce has gone the wrong way, so we need to come back to about the N, middle of the N. Handling, poor, good, great, so it needs to go more to the left. And we've been excellent both here, so we got a little leverage there. We need it more to the left. We need that back over a little, so why don't we go a little further. That's in the happy zone for excellent. And hopefully we'll see if that is good. Okay. I think we are getting quite close on the setup. I'm going to let him run. It's early enough in the session. I'm going to let him run. There's qualified trim level 2. And there's level 3. And they're both coming in this lap. Okay, Max is triple excellent, 98%. It's not perfect, but it will do just fine. So race trim, 12 laps, and the soft tires. And Herda, not quite perfect yet, but he is oh so close. He's actually at 99%. So we're just missing by a whisker right now. He was great all the way back there, and here. So I think I need to go back to the right. Like that. Race trim. 12 laps. Soft tires. And away we go. And I'm just going to let him run. We'll cruise right through these bonuses. This will also give me a good chance to see how the tire heating is. See, they're running normal and getting slightly warm. It's creeping up, but pretty slowly at least. Okay, there's level 2. And we're approaching level 3. I'll bring Colton in this time. Let's speed it up until he's almost in. Make sure we actually got that last little setup piece done. There's level 3. Bring Max in as well. And there it is. Triple excellent. 6 minutes to spare, and we are completely ready to go for the race. Still on 99%. Okay, you guys can set up the rest of the session. Your work is done. Now, in terms of speed, we're not fast. We are not fast. That much is sad, but remember, I did long. I did my qualifying run on the hard tires, on the used hard tires, and then I used the softs with 12 laps of fuel in them and ran normal. So, completely not worried about the fact that we are actually the slowest two cars, as Matsushita is making his little qualifying run right now and jumps to 11th on the soft tires there ahead of a bunch of other guys, but clearly was pushing it the last couple of laps, preparing himself for qualifying. Alright, soft tires, qualifying. Soft tires, qualifying. I can use both sets because we're not going to need them for the race. So we want to get a representative time. We'll send Colton out first. This will be my chance to also get the balance. Most of the cleanest part of the lap is right here, and we're missing it. So it does make the brake temp, tire temps a little harder to manage. Okay, brake temps already hitting the happy zone. Tire temps not quite yet, and like I said, this is harder than it looks because of... Okay, tire temps perfect, brake temps a little bit overheated. It's always difficult to get both. Let's go ahead and get Max out there. And we'll try to keep an eye on Herta as best we can on his lap. He is coming into traffic, by the way, as he's got two cars in front of him here, and that certainly does not help his case. We'll watch Herta while I, on the mini-map, try to watch Max on his preparation here. Okay, tire temp's perfect, brake temp's a little hot, and meanwhile, Herta 1.4 seconds off the pace, which is going to be a bit slow, it looks like. Sumsal ahead of him, but four of the first 8 times are all the two fastest teams. So, well, that and Red Bull. But we are behind Williams. We are behind Toro Rosso. And Colton's back in. Max, meanwhile, is half a second off the pace, coming to the finish line now. He's got a little bit of traffic in front of him. Much better time from him, less than a second behind, and that does put him in the mix a little bit. He's ahead of Matsushita, he's ahead of Van Dorn, he's ahead of Sumsal and Ocon. Nakashita as well, Buchanan as well, so Verstappen in 13th has a pretty decent time right now. Herta, meanwhile, though, is going to need to improve drastically on his time on his second run. I may reverse these two, knowing that Max has a decent time right now. What I'm worried about, though, is if I improve Herta a little and don't end up improving Verstappen. Okay, so we're past the halfway point. Better get somebody going here a little bit. And yes, we'll get Max out there first this time. Now seems like a pretty decent time, as there is huge gaps Nordstrom is the next car out there, and he is quite a ways behind. So I will get Max into clean air, depending on who comes out of the pits right in front of him. Let's get him set here. Okay, come on, come on, come on. Alright, closer this time. Tire temps perfect again. Brake temps were still over, but they are much closer. And Max will have a beautifully clean lap here. There is no one in his way. So we ride on board with Max on his lap. I got to keep an eye on the time here. It's only 55-second lap around here, so I've got a little bit of time before I need to get Colton out there. Max just 0.3 of a second off. That is white on the first sector. Still white. He is close to the time he had before. Meanwhile, I do need to get Colton going. So let's put his soft tires on. And let's get back on board with Max as he finishes his lap. Very, very close to his other time, but he was white in every sector. Here is Herda, and he is running hot right now, but he has got some traffic. And it will ghost you a little bit, but ouch. So a little cold. I got the brake temps up to good. Tire temps I couldn't quite get up there, but we ride with Herda. 1 minute left in the session. He's got some space. That is the Mercedes of Mick Schumacher there. He is not on a hot lap anymore. He is on an in lap, so hopefully he will stay out of our way. Herda is green in the first sector, but he's half a second down already. Verstappen drops to 16th as Lando Norris has improved that pole time. Now it's 1 second off the pace already. He's only got a 10th or 2 to play with, so I don't think Herda is going to improve his time. He does not. He is slower by nearly a 10th of a second from where he was, and that is P16 and P20 for the race. Lando Norris on the pole. Mick Schumacher is second, both in the Mercedes. Ferraris are 3 and 4. The Williams of Carlos Sainz Jr. manages to go P4. Great time for him. Alright, so we line up on the oval part for the start of the race. I do not want these drivers on those mediums, so we will be switching that in a moment. But we'll set up hard tires and race trim. That's going to be a 30% bonus that will definitely make us a lot faster in the race. 30% bonus is quite the pickup. And if they go, say, 16 laps, no, there's still 13 left. It just means we'll be able to push the hards at some point. Alright, well, everything is set, ready to go for the race. We definitely want to actually attack the start because there's no danger early on, but I need to turn this down before we get into the infield. So we'll try to get a good start here. Alright, let's go ahead and ride with Max as he's a little higher up the grid. 5 red lights in Phoenix are up and out, and Max off to a great start, but he gets held up immediately by CMCell, but he is going to get around him here as we have this excellent start here, and that is Max into 13th place and looking for 12th. Ooh, he has to check up pretty hard there. Herda also tucking in behind him as they both get an excellent start to this race. 12th and 16th from 16th and 20th, and Herta looking 3 wide, trying to go now into the middle. And Herta's up into P14 at the moment, Max in P12. Both of them excellent starts. You could see who is on that one-stop strategy, or potentially on the one-stop strategy on the hard tires. There's really only a handful of cars, so this could potentially actually end up being a pretty big thing for us. Herta drops to 18th after that good start. What is going on there? Okay, tires are not even into the middle happy zone yet, so we can allow them to continue to push for now, including the fuel wear part as we start lap number 3. Let's get away from the grandstands there. There we go. So Max in 12th. Herta back up to 17th. Max taking a look around the Renault, and he's going to make the pass and into P11 already. So he gets around Marilyn in there, and it's now the lead car on the hard tires on the grid. And if we're talking about one-stop strategies, and if that 20-something seconds has that big of an impact, boy oh boy, we could find ourselves in the top 10, especially look at these guys on the softs. Russell, Van Dorn are already going to need to pit soon. It's lap 4. Verstappen continues to move up and is closing down Harold. Marilyn has made a little ground back up, but I haven't even touched ERS yet. Fuel wear seems to be going pretty well too, as I've been on a push mode for the entire race, and they're only negative 0.16 each. So fuel wear is quite good here, and this is the kind of track and place to use that ERS, as you can get a really nice run on this section with that ERS. Herta's still in P18. Max, I'll use his ERS this time. Now both cars are getting above that happy zone, so it is time to go down to neutral. There we go, Max. Almost time. Almost time. Ready, set, and go. And the Renault. We got a Renault in the pits. It is Russell. George Russell is pitting, and he's going all the way to last place and well behind. Okay, we'll see how this tire heating goes on neutral. Max has closed Harold right down on mediums. Those mediums aren't going to last terribly long. Van Dorn is probably going to have to pit this time. We're going to check in with Herta and use his ERS this time out, see if he can't make up some sort of ground. I can't believe he's all the way down in P18. Wow, Max continues to perform well. There we go. Herta up to 16th as Van Dorn was in the pits that time, and Max is up into the points in 9th place. And those guys that pit came out on medium, so guaranteed 2-stop races for them, as they are nowhere near. In fact, they're probably looking at a 3-stop race. Alright, Max, time to defend. Ready, set, and open up that gap. There you go. There you go. Okay, defends that position well. Heating seems to be staying about neutral while driving on neutral. So we're probably going to stay on neutral for a while. This 10th place car is Margasov. Margasov is a Red Bull. So I really can't expect to stay ahead of Margasov. I don't know how he got ahead of him in the first place. But the fact that he is coming up on us is not too worrying, as it's a Red Bull. Meanwhile, though, we're going to make up some more ground. Now P8 as Newgarden, Joseph Newgarden in the Ferrari, has pit, and he comes out all the way back in P18. Now Herta, meanwhile, is still just P17 and is actually last place of all the cars that have not pit. Let's see just how far back the Ferrari is, though, as we also get a Mercedes in, Mick Schumacher into the pits. And here we go, Herta, come on, come on. Get that good run. Get that good... Oh, really? That was Mick Schumacher in front of him. Yes, Mick Schumacher is ahead. So there's the first car to have pit to be into the middle of the pack, and it's just ahead of those last two cars of Matsushita and Herta. But meanwhile, Max Verstappen remains the highest placed of all those on the hard compound and is up in 7th, still ahead of Margasov. Time to back off for a bit though, as fuel load is a bit behind. It's lap 11 of 29, and a lot of cars pitting. Perez has pit. Newgarden gets around Herta. Look how fast Schumacher's making his way through the grid. He's already up to P11. Okay, Max is definitely going to use some ERS this time, as he's losing a little ground with the engine turned down. Ready, set, and go. Right as we hit that front stretch, get a nice little run, and then let up, and look at him close down Margasov and Giovinazzi. Herta, though, is throwing up a bit of a stinker in this one. Tires are staying just fine here, so no worries about anything there. But there's a 10-place gap between these guys, and they have almost identical cars. We've got identical setups, identical strategies, and yet there is a significant gap between these two cars. 3, 4, 5 cars into the pit, and look who is into 2nd place. Lando Norris, the only one still out there. Max Verstappen currently in P2. Herta also working his way up with a bunch of cars behind in the pits. Harold, Ocon, Margasov all back there pitting. And well back. Herta, we're going to use the... we're not going to watch Herta. Let's see what happens here. Max Verstappen. Use a little ERS. Oh, does not make it into the race lead. Lando Norris keeps the lead. He is still ahead of Max Verstappen. Wow. What pace. We're at 25 and 21% wear on lap 14, so we are not going to make it the kind of length I expected us to, but we still will make this one-stopper work, as Max is passed by the McLaren of Marylainen. Okay, on to lap 15. It is now safe to pit this time. I'm wondering if I should go one more. The cliff on these is not quite too severe. But why? Let's get Herta in this time. It's lap 15. I think I'm going to try to get one more lap out of Max. Engine's good. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so Herta's going to pit from P12. Now, he's got some ERS saved up, but this isn't going to be the lap to use that. Now, meanwhile, Max is going to lose time battling. However, I think it's okay. He's 18%. He's not hit his cliff yet. There's all of his ERS, though. But we've got a little bit of fuel saved up here now for the second half. And Max is going to pit this time. Let's go ahead and see what happens with Herta. Good pit. 1.971. That is nicely done, pit crew. Nicely done. Rear wings at 47%, but otherwise, Max, car's in good shape. Here on lap 16, we're going to get Max in for his only stop this time, and let's go ahead and attack the rest of the way on this lap as he tries to hang on to the position ahead of Joseph Newgarden, which of course he will relinquish it here shortly. There we go, and in he comes. We'll have him push to get out. Here is Herta in last place. But remember, he was already the last place of those who had not pit. So, for Herta, no surprise that he is back there. Max actually in 17th. So this is where we're at pace-wise. One car left to pit. Buchanan has not come in yet. We'll see how far back he drops in the Haas. Matsushita is behind Verstappen. Nakashita is behind Verstappen. Nakashita will go the distance. Matsushita is not going to make it. Here's Buchanan now into the pits. And Max is going to go to P16. And we're going to see how high he can climb. Herta still in last. Still in last. Buchanan has come out ahead. But Buchanan put on mediums. I'm not sure he's going to make it all the way on those. Herta, though, in a little bit of trouble. Lando Norris is creeping up on lapping him. Remember, it's only a 55-second lap here, as so much of it is taken flat out. Okay, so Herta is... Ooh, he gets around him. Okay, Herta moves up to P18, and this was exactly what I'm talking about. Van Dorn, Russell, already their second stops. And this is where we're going to start to gain a little bit of an advantage. We're going to swap the driving style for the engine mode uptick. Make sure he stays in the happy zone. Meanwhile, Max is up to P14. We've got a Ferrari in the pits, but he's on his way out right now. Let's go ahead and turn that engine up for a while as we're on lap 20. Herta, though, just P18, and he's got guys on fresh tires behind him. So Herta's race is going to largely come down to his own actions. He's going to get ignored here pretty soon for the final laps and just see himself home because he's very much in the back of the grid. He's actually closer now than he was a little while ago to Verstappen. So he has improved here later on in this race. Here goes a good chunk of ERS for Herta as we try to get him up the field a little bit, but he didn't seem to gain that much. And now, for the rest of the race, we're going to ride with Max Verstappen up to P13. Perez has pit, but is only 3 seconds behind on fresh mediums. That could be a difficult one to keep at bay. In fact, I would expect that Red Bull to be able to get by him, but we've been in this position before and successfully held them off. Tires are cooling slightly. Grip, surprisingly, not that high. But we're in P12 and P18. Matsushita is going to pit soon. Still P12. For me, this is going to come down to who is pitting and how far the gap is. Lando Norris is completely out of reach. He's going to win this race. But Leclerc, Sainz, Margusa, Schumacher, these guys pit, I will be ahead of them. Just like Perez, who's already pit twice, I'm ahead of him. Wait. There you go. Some of these guys have and are pitting. Okay, it's lap 24. Let's go ahead and push for a little bit, see if we can't hold Perez behind. If his tire wear gets much worse, he will not have the ability to get around us. If. It's a big if. But we are one spot out of the points, and there are still potentially some cars ahead of us that are going to pit, like Ocon, whose tires are quite gone at this point. The other guys might hang on and try to go on one stoppers. That is so hard to believe that they would do that here. No ERS this time. He's in P10. Ocon has pit. Okay, Ocon has pit. We are into the points for now. And Perez is dropping back. His happy zone is gone on those tires. Their usefulness is fading. Before we overheat this puppy. Still 0.37. Just a little bit of ERS left, but Max triple green that time. Really good pace for him. he's going to have a chance to move up. Meanwhile, Herta is doing okay himself. Tire wear is good. Fuel load is still good for him. He is at 99%, so I need to use that ERS this time. I'm watching him on the mini map. He's this one, not this one. That's Max. Lap 27 underway. Okay, ready, set, and go. Go, 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 go. Okay, both Renaults are behind and out of contention. They're not going to pick up points in this race. There's one Haas. The other Haas is in 12th, so Verstappen's ahead of him. That's good. So my direct competitors are behind me. Ooh, Max. Max! Defend. Good. 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 And pull away a little. Can you? No. You gotta defend. You are coming up close, though. It is lap 28. Now lap 29 underway, but we still have a lap and a half to go. Oh! Oh, yes! Yes! Carolina's tires have completely fallen off, and Nordstrom's tires are about to fall off. We need to go neutral, though, for right now. And we're going to go ahead and attack as we're hitting the hot zone. So we're going to go into attack mode here for Max Verstappen in P9. P9, final lap of the race. Oh, race ending now. Race ending. Herta got lapped. Herta got lapped. I did not see it. P8! P8! We just got around Nordstrom. We just got around Nordstrom, and we're going to go into overtake here. P8. Yes, sir. Yes. Okay, 7%. This should be enough. Should be enough. Drop down to high. Make sure we actually make it to the end. Yes, we will. Back into overtake. Back into overtake. Leclerc gets fastest lap here. Max Verstappen finishes in P8. We got the job done on a race that we had no business earning any points in because of the one-stopper. And surprisingly, more cars went for the one-stopper than expected. However, you look at that tire wear on that board, and most of those guys have fallen off the cliff in the final 1 to 2 laps, and that's where those last positions came. Those last 2 positions, anyway. And good job holding off Perez. That was very much job well done. I'm extremely happy with those points. Also happy that Haas did not manage to score. McLaren only got 1 themselves. Renault got no points. Toro Rosso, though, did finish ahead of us. Yeah, seems all 13 laps on those mediums. Even Leclerc had to pit. They dropped him to 6th. Mercedes 1-2. The Williams 3-5. Great job for them. Fantastic performance by Williams in this race. Ooh, Perez picks up a penalty also. Two-place demotion. He was in 11th. He was out of the points, but that part on that car is going to be relegated. And Red Bull. No points for Red Bull in this race. None. 0. 4 points for Verstappen. That's a big 4 points for us. And for him, he is desperately trying to hang on in the point standings. Remember, he was P2 when we swept him away from Red Bull. And now, as a team, we have distanced ourselves from Haas a bit more. We went from a 12-point gap to a 16-point gap with just a few races left to go. And we are also now within 3 points of Renault. So, one more 8th place without them scoring points. And we would be back ahead of Renault for the first time since quite a while ago. Remember, a big chunk of these points were scored in the first race of the season when everybody had DNFs up the yin-yang as reliability was extremely low on the cars, and the weather allowed me to take perfect advantage of the race strategy and benefit from it immensely, and got a podium in the first race. So Mercedes leads the championship by 56, the constructors. Ferrari well back. McLaren not so far behind Ferrari, actually, with Williams now. Great points haul for them. Comfortably in 5th place now. Force India in 6th. Toro Rosso, Renault, and Haas are the teams that have been racing most of the season. Alright, well, that was a fantastic race. 4 points is not a lot for the gaming decathlon itself and nowhere near the total we had. But right now, I'm trying to improve that car, and we are definitely coming along, and it is getting better, and we're not so much on the bottom anymore. We're starting to be competitive midfield-ish. I mean, that was 5th in that race, right? But that big thing for me is I've got to get through these next 3 races without being outscored by Haas by 16 points. That's priority number 1, is just survive to live to see another day in F1, another season in F1. We do that, and this season is successful. Herda, what the heck happened? Why has your morale dipped by 23%? Oh my goodness. You drama queen. Valdez leading the points, but Fuoco got the win. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. I will end on our pit crew review, something I don't show on camera very often. But look how nice everything is, except for the headquarters in the car now. We are really starting to get there as a team. You can see just how strong I am getting here in this department, as I've got a number of 20s and the rest all 19s in the pit crew, and that's what's getting us down under 2 seconds. And the way I do that is I'm staying on it here, rejecting all these guys week after week to make sure I get a new batch of applications week in, week out, looking for a job. Now, I have a bonus of +3 to their stats. So this 16 is actually a 19, which a 19 would be good, but he's only an 81, so he gets rejected as well. Now this is nice, and this is nice, and that was nice back in the day, but not anymore. So no new crew members this time, and then I will shuffle these out. But that's going to do it for this episode of Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe, and tune in next time on my Road to the Record. Bye for now.